Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs, or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Hi there, a warm welcome along to the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. It's Shergar Cup Day, don't you know? How excited we all are. Lee Mottershead is with me, Bruce Millington in the studio, and over in Ireland we've got Brendan Duke making a very welcome return to Postcasts, and Paddy Power's James Short making his Postcast debut. So welcome along, James. As always with newcomers, we do a little bit of a get to know you. How long have you been with Paddy Power, James?
I'm here since last December, since the middle part of last December, so it's all going quite well at the moment, Bruce.
Oh, that's a broadcasting voice, Lee, isn't it? We've got a pro here, haven't we? Wow.
Radio 2 beckons, I think.
Absolutely.
The lads call me Terry Wogan here.
Yeah, I can see why.
I can see
why, yeah. Oh, Lee went all gooey there. He loves Terry Wogan.
I had the joy of interviewing Terry Wogan. Wasn't it really a joy, actually? It was after Peter O'Sullivan died. But I called up Terry Wogan. And he answered, and he was like you'd known you all his life. He was
Fantastic.
just so nice.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay, James, dogs or cats, what do you prefer?
Cats.
Cats, oh, that's no good. You've got a little own goal there. Are you a light better or a heavy better? Or a no better?
I've got three kids now, Bruce, so, you know, it goes a bit lighter as the years go on.
Yeah, as Sybil Forty once said, that avenue of pleasure has been closed off. What happened to you most recently? You punched someone in the face, you were punched in the face, or you've neither punched someone or been punched in your life?
Can I use a different one where I've wanted to punch a few people in the face?
What, you have?
No, I've wanted to.
Oh, you wanted to, but you never have. Okay, fine. Jolly good. And which football team do you support?
Well, I support Blackburn Rovers, former Premier League champions.
Excellent. Okay, lovely to see you. Brendan, how are you, my friend? I haven't spoken to you for absolutely ages. Are you in good form?
Yes, too long, Bruce, too long. Flying form, thanks, flying form.
Are you excited about the Shergar Cup? You're quite a traditionalist, so I sense that you wouldn't be that mad on it.
Well, it's deja vu all over again, because I think I was on a preview of last year's Shergar Cup with your good self, and the man sitting beside you there, and I am kind of indifferent to it, although I'm excited about seeing the Pride of Streaky Bay return. But I think the man sitting beside you, short of changing the name of this to strictly Shergar Cup, to me, it couldn't have a better advocate than Mr. Lee Motters.
Okay, well, listen, hopefully we've got plenty of winners. We'll go through it race by race. There's 6 races at Ascot on Saturday. But first of all, we'll look at which team is going to win. So, James, if you can give us your make history with your first burst of postcast prices on who's going to win.
Well, it's really the Irish team, and they're at the top of the betting market at 15-8. We've got Europe, which is a strange European team. A lot of people probably might know a lot of these jockeys. A man from Holland, Germany and Italy. Europe are 5-2. Rest of the world 11-4. And we've got the girls, and we might have a new girl on standby, Holly Doyle. Well, they're the outsiders at 4-1.
Yeah, perhaps, Lee, before
Cup.
we go crack on, let's bring you the latest, because the Shergar Cup became the Sweargar Cup, didn't it, yesterday, with Michelle Payne throwing a double six. What's the latest? Is she likely to ride, do you think?
It looks like it could be a close call. She's saying to Ascot that she expects to ride, but she's picked up a stomach bug on the way or on arriving in Britain. And the BHA put out a statement about 10 minutes ago, as I talk now, basically saying that she'll have to pass the doctor at Ascot tomorrow in order to ride. On the possibility that she can't ride, Ascot have drafted in Holly Doyle to take part at Ascot before going on to Lingfield. So it would be a long way to come to do nothing, wouldn't it?
It certainly would, yeah.
But she, by all accounts, wasn't in a particularly good mood yesterday or in good shape yesterday.
Oh, dear.
It was most unfortunate.
Who's going to win? It's the silver saddle for top rider, isn't it? So, James, give us Paddy Power's prices on that, if you would.
Yeah, Neil Callan's top of the betting market. He's got some good rides in the first 2 races, 3-1. Kieran McAvoy's 9-2. Andre De Vers is 9-2 as well. Then we have Rispoli 7s, Emma Jane Wilson 7s, Hayley Turner's 8s, Fran Berry's 11s, and 12-1 bar.
Lee, do you have a view on who's going to be the silver, or what, the team or the silver saddle winner?
No strong view, no. But I think with this sort of bet, it's for me just entirely price based, and I think the girls as the outsiders. 2 of the horses I'm tipping are ridden by the girls, so I'd be going with them, and probably Emma Jane Wilson for the silver saddle.
If they win, we can dust off our Shergar Babes headline, can't we?
Yeah, Shergar Babes. Yes.
And then decide we're not going to do it because we don't refer to girls as babes at the Racing Post.
Historic day tomorrow as well, if that does happen, because Catherine Fiddler is editing the Racing Post.
Wow, fantastic, yeah.
The first lady to edit the Racing Post tomorrow.
Tremendous. That's great news.
Great coincidence.
Yeah, that is good. Brendan, have you looked through who's going to win the team or the individual awards? I'm betting no.
I did have a look, actually. I just thought, trying to work it out in my head. I didn't get a spreadsheet out or anything, but I like the British Isles. I thought both Fran and Jamie had some nice rides. I thought they might get the British Isles out of the line. And Andre de Vries, who's very impressive, the bits I've seen of him, looks a proper pilot, this guy. I thought he had some nice rides for the Solo Award.
OK, let's crack on then. 105, it's the Dubai Duty-Free Shergar Cup Dash. Let's just call them the Dash, the Stays, etc., because they're all Dubai Duty-Free Shergar Cup. So the Dash, 105, first heat. James, how do Paddy Power bet on that one?
So we've gone for Piper's Notes at the top of the betting market at 3-1. Lexington Abbey for Kieran McAvoy's 4-1. Mears at the top weight for Fran Perry 11-2. Stake a Claim is 13-2. And then we've Tropics at 7-1. One of the reserves, Harkham, is 7-1 and 8-1 bar those.
How's he not on Radio 2?
Very good, isn't
it? What a voice.
There's a guy, what's his name, James? Is it Ryan Tubridy? Tubridy?
Ryan Tubridy, he's the presenter of our Late Show here.
Yeah. Your voice strikes me as very similar to his. And he's done very well, so it's got to bode well for
Let's
you.
hope your salary
He's on a lot more money than me.
No, well, you need to be pushing for more then, don't you?
Right, Lee, enough of that. Let's come up with some good bets here. Who's going to win the 105?
I thought this was by some way the best race on the Ascot card. Not saying it goes downhill after this, but this is definitely, I thought, the most interesting race. I thought the Robert Cowell horses were interesting, given he's got a great record in the contest. But if you allow me a little anecdote, at Goodwood last Thursday, I represented Dean Ivory in the Stewards Cup draw. So I said stall 15 in the horse came from stall. I did, yeah.
Wow.
Dean Ivory's part in the victory was bigger than mine, to be fair. But even so, I did say stall 15.
It was the last one out but one, though, was it? Was that or 29?
No, it was middle.
It was early doors?
Sort of halfway through, yeah.
Well played.
Now, at that point, well, to be fair, he did sort of say to go for a middle draw, so
right.
I can't really take much credit at all, really, but I did say 15. But anyway, he had 3 horses he was planning to run in the race. I got the impression the one he was fancying most was Tropic, so he didn't run in the race. He said afterwards he thought he'd save him for another day. I think this could be the day for him. He's plummeted down the weight since he last ran in the handicap. Has been a bit disappointing, but I could well see him bouncing back under Emma Jane Wilson.
Righty-ho. Brendan, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, in punting as in life, Bruce, I like to keep things as simple as possible and back the best horse in the race, and that is Mirza, rated 105 in a 0 to 105, has form at Ascot on easy ground. This ticks basically every box I want in horse. I thought Mirza should be favourite, and she isn't, so I'd be backing her.
And obviously a good form line with Batash. There's no harm in that, is there, by any means?
Yeah.
OK. James, your first ever Postcast tip. I'm sure you're a bag of nerves. Who are you going to go for?
Well, I'm going to follow Brendan here. I think Mercer with that Batash form is spot on from that Sandown run. Likes it here as well, as Brendan has said. So I'm just going to copy here. This race, by the way, is an extra place race here with us at Paddy Power. So 4 places on offer in the first. 4 places, and you can get that on Paddy Power's products or, of course, the Racing Post app. The 140 is the Stayers over 2 miles. We'll call it 2 miles. They're calling it 1 mile 7, 209 yards. Swashbuckle, I believe, is the jolly here, James. Yeah, top of the betting 9-4. Byron Flyer for Ian Williams has a great record in this race, 7-2. Graceland 7-2. Angel Gabriel 6-1 and 10-1 bar those for this one. This is one of our money back races.
Okay, how does that work?
So it's money back as a free bet if your selection is 2nd, 3rd or 4th to the SP favourite.
Blimey, that sounds good. Brendan, with that in mind, who are you going to be backing?
Well, I'd be backing one of the price here. I like this Yukon Glen. There's plenty of upside with this horse. He's a 4-year-old, but he only had 14 runs. Now, on his penultimate start, he won a race in air, and the handicapper only put him up £1, so kind of didn't believe the form. And I could see why, because the third was Prescott, horse 4-7, didn't run his race. So I could see why he only put him up £1. But then it ran really well in the Old Newton Cup. It was carved up about a furlong and a half down, but he was only beaten 5 lengths. Definitely would have been closer without the interference. This isn't as good a race. And interestingly, he steps up a half a mile in trip, but Goldie trains the full brother as well, Sir Chauvelin. And he's he's one of these horses that would suit you, Bruce, because he's both trip and ground agnostic. His 2 best RPRs have come over 1.5 miles and 2 miles for Chauvelin. So with Goldie knowing the family, And he's probably happy to step this up and trip. And the aforementioned ADV takes the ride. I think you can Glen at about 14 to 1, a very fair price.
Okay, you make a great case. I actually think that more horses are trip and ground agnostic than people think. I think everyone gets very precise about it.
There's definitely a case to be made.
If you look at the World Athletics Championships this week, we've had people running the 200 and the 400, the 1500 and the 5000, and of course, Farah runs 5 and 10 regularly. So,
well, absolutely. And I mean, I'm a big fan of the Aussie racing, and the way they train their horses is very much trip agnostic. You look at their Melbourne Cup horses; they'll start their campaign over 7 furlongs and work up to 2 miles. A good horse is a good horse is a good horse.
I agree. Lee, who's going to win the Stayers?
I thought Barari, Jamie Spencer, John Best, stable in form. Horse very much in form as well. Won his last 2 races very easily. Is improving as he goes up in distance, and I thought there was quite a few disappointing types relative to recently in this one. And a horse in form, going the right way, he'd do for me.
Okay, so Brennan's gone for a 14 to 1 shot in Yukon Glen. Lee's gone for a 10 to 1 shot in Barahi. Who are you going for, James?
I think it's a race I'm going to just stay away from. I don't like this race at all. I'm going to have a look at some of the races later on the card. I think some better bets later on. Okie
dokie. Well, give us a show on the 2:15 then, which is the challenge over... What's the trip here, Lee? I've got...
Mile and a half.
Mile and a half. I've got the old scrolling race details on the mobile app. Yeah, it's a mile and a half. Okay, then. And Niblawi is the favourite, I believe, James.
Yeah, 11 to 4. Perhaps Emma Jane Wilson's best ride. We've got this Mukaram for Tim Eastby's great form. Haley Turner 9 to 2. So it's a good race for the girls. 11 to 2 Spencer's Mount, which is Goda Pauli, Sylvester Kirk's runner, if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. 11 to 2 and 13 to 2 Petite Jack, and bigger prices the rest for this race. This is our 2:15, 4 places, extra place race here with Paddy Power.
Do you fancy anything, James, or do you want to leave the boys to dissect?
I thought it was a race in which the principal runners in the contest were all probably maybe getting up there in terms of their handicap marks. Neil Mulholland's horse up 5 after finishing second here 2 weeks ago. 11 to 4. Perhaps maybe that one.
Okie doke. Lee, have you got a strong fancy?
Not a strong fancy, but I think Neil Mulholland's horse is the most interesting. We're second in a course and distance handicap on King George Day, probably a better race than this. Just got done by Godolphin, heavily unexposed horse. And again with EJW on, following James's ADV thing. No?
Yeah, I've got to say, by the way, Brennan, I'm not a massive fan of abbreviating Dutch names because it's always a V in the middle, isn't it? Oh, no, he's not, though. He's a D in the middle, isn't he? Okay, fair enough. It's valid. 2 votes for Niblawi. Are we going for 3 votes, Brendan?
No, I thought that as the lad said, it's a trappy race. Petite Jack appealed to me as the best handicap, but I'm not sure about him on the ground. I didn't think Godolphin got a great ride the last day off Glory. Now, he's a tricky horse because he's trying to be keen and he was drawn wide, but he never made any attempt. The only time he tried to get him in at all was when he carved up half the opposition in the straight. But he just tanked out wide. He pulled really hard. Now, he's drawn wide again tomorrow, but ridden by Jamie Spencer. Hands of a surgeon, of course, Jamie. This is the ideal horse for him. I don't think he'll get a similar ride. I think he'll bury him on the inside. There should be a bit of pace here. The Easterby horse likes to get on with it. There's a few of them like to get on with it. And I think the £3 rise for his course and distance and ground win the last day underestimates him. I think he can go in again.
OK, I'm talking to Jamie Spencer. I'm just going to give a little plug here for a really fascinating series we've got all week in the Racing Post next week, starting on Monday, called Secrets of the Saddle, where we're talking to various jockeys who've got kind of noted skills. And Jamie, obviously, talking about coming from remote positions to win. So watch out for that. I think that'll be really good. 250 at Ascot is the mile, over a mile. And how do you bet, James Short?
So we have Breakable at the top of the betting market at 5 to 2 for Tim Easterby. Early morning, the top one is 7 to 2. Michelle Payne, if she rides, is next in. Brigladoro is 11 to 2. 7 to 1 Manson and 8 to 1 Nicholas T. 9's bar for this race.
Righty-ho, Lee, you go first.
I thought this was weak. I thought early morning, best horse in the race, won the race last year. Disappointing in the Hunt Cup last time. This is a very different sort of contest. Generally runs well at Ascot. And under Michelle Payne or Holly Doyle, I think he'd have a decent chance.
Righty-ho, Brendan, take it away.
Yeah, I thought it was a bomb site, Bruce. I can see why Breakable is fav. It looks well treated after the Chester win. And the ability to run handy here might be useful. There isn't a whole lot of pace. Breakable if you force me, but the price is unattractive.
James, when you're broadcasting to all the Paddy Power shops tomorrow, I presume when you come to doing the 250, you won't be saying this is a bomb site. Will you be tipping
something
one
close?
up?
Something close, Bruce. It's not one of the greatest of races. At least this is a colourful event if you're on track. For a punter, I don't know. But early morning, I'm going to stick with Lee in this race. Maybe a slight concern over the ground, but forgive that run in the Hunt Cup and has been consistent beforehand.
Righty-ho, let's do the classic now. Again, it's over 1.5 miles. And Kerrin McAvoy is riding the favourite, Contango, for Andrew Balding. What's the latest betting, James?
Just to say, this is one of our money-back races as well. I like Contango, has been heading in the right direction. I think this could be a listed horse in a handicap. 9-4 at the top of the betting market for the inform Andrew Balding. Haley Turner's on hold sway, 7-2. Kasparenko's 4-1. And then we have 13-2 appointed, 9-1 Barthhouse.
Money back if you're second, third and fourth. It's a great offer, I must say. You'd be mad to miss that. Brendan, you go first. Who's going to win the Classic?
Yeah, I'm reluctant to pass by Karen. It's so good to see him back. We'll probably find out what we missed at the weekend. But Contango, just the worry is he got £10 for winning a 3-runner race in Newmarket, and the race looked to fall asunder completely. So that kind of put me off him at the price. Hold sway now, in fairness. He also seems to be struggling with his mark, but I'm not sure he was in love with Goodwood the last day, and he has the combination of a step-up and trip and first-time blinkers. I thought that might just be enough to get him over the line here.
Righty-ho, what are you saying, Lee?
I'm saying Bear Valley ran third in the King George's fifth handicap at the Royal meeting. That's clearly a better race than this one. He's back on the same mark after 3 pretty dismal efforts. So normally you'd see a horse with dismal form and you think, oh, no good. But when it's trained by Mark Johnson, they just go run appallingly one Saturday and then they bounce back to winning race the following Saturday. So at a big price, I think Bear Valley, probably each way.
How about you, James?
I'm going to stick with the race favourite Contango. I saw that race at Newmarket last day. Small fields. Brendan's point is a valid one. He's gone up 10. It's a bit of a worry. But I think, like the Stable Companion Beat the Bank, I think this horse is heading in the right direction. I think we'll defy that rise off that 10 and will go very close to winning this one.
Right, let's conclude our look at Ascot with the 4 o'clock. It's the sprint over 6 furlongs and the favourite, surely named after Brendan Duke, Nobly Born.
Yeah, this one's top of the betting market at 9-4. 100 to 30 then is Lua Liwa. And then we have Fran Berry on board, Golden Apollo 11-2. Goodwood Crusader for Neil Callan 7-1 and 8-1 Barthhouse in the last.
Brendan, your dad's got a really good horse, hasn't he? I saw something scoot up the other weekend.
Galway, was it?
Galway, yeah. He's an exciting thing, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's warmed the voice, yes. As you say, I may well be nobly born, Bruce. Perhaps when the Normans came over, my family were leading the line. We slipped somewhat in the intervening years, but perhaps warm the voice can return us to our proper place of prominence.
Absolutely.
He was a lovely horse, wasn't he?
He certainly is.
Well, surely Brendan, sort of following the old master Jim Bolger's lead, should be selling this horse to Sheikh Mohammed now.
Yeah, that's
dialing
exactly
up
right,
the main number and getting a few quid.
But making sure it stays in the yard.
In the yard.
That's the key bit, isn't it? Brendan, you go first in the sprint. Who's going to win this?
I thought Nobly Born, I backed it at Newmarket, but I thought it ran pretty well in a hot race and was just a touch keen. Might have been enough to cost them. This should be run at a good clip because that Liwa likes to get on with things over 7 furlongs. So drop back to 6. You'd imagine they won't want to dawdle. I think if Nobly Born settles just a little better, which you could easily do on just a 5th run, he'd be good enough.
Righty-ho, Lee.
Well, I help Mr. Hughes with his punctuation in the Saturday Racing Post column, but I never seem to back his winners. I back his losers, but I don't back his winners, so ignore me when I say this, but I do like Goodwood Crusader.
Has he given you positive vibes?
Well, yeah, he did give me... and with this horse, he hasn't always given positive vibes. He sort of won a lot of races, I think, when he didn't really expect him to. I backed him last week in the Stewards Cup Consolation race, thinking that was the ideal race for him, but he ran a shocker. But he said to me, he's probably not the sort of horse ideally wants to win a big field. He's not a big lad, and when the big old sprinters start knocking him around, doesn't really like it. His wins have come in smaller fields, back down to 10 runners here, with Neil Callan aboard. With 2 defeats against his name, you're going to get a decent price against him. But if he goes back to anything like his old form, he'll have a big chance.
Okay, and James, who are you going to go for?
Yeah, quickly, I'm going to go for Kevin Ryan's Lula Weewa in this race. Dropping back, as Brendan says, the 6 from 7 will be up there. Has a nice bit of form with Battered from York back in May. Battered won at Goodwood last week. Kevin Ryan's horses are flying. I'm going to stick with that one.
Righty-ho. OK, quickly, competition time. On Monday, we asked who won the Goodwood Cup. The answer was Stradivarius. And well done to David from Devon, who wins a free £25 bet from Paddy Power. Your money will be credited to your account. Well done, David. There will be another chance to win on Monday's show with Maddie, so tune in for that.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in 2 races today and every day this month. Max £25 per race. T&Cs apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
OK, welcome back. We're looking at the rest of the ITV action. Lee, you're news editing today, so you'd know the answers. Is it ITV1 or ITV4?
We are on
tomorrow?
ITV4 tomorrow, and it's like a 4-hour marathon programme.
Why?
So Wapperoonie tomorrow. Doing all 6 Sugar Cup races.
Oh, brilliant. OK, that will be good. And they're interspersing it with some action at Haydock Park and Newmarket July. So we'll start with the 155 at Haydock. It's the Lady Riders race over 1.5 miles. James, take it away. Give us a show.
So we have Megan Nichols and Paul Nichols teaming up with the favourite Superb at 11-4, 11-2 Dance King. Zari is 7-1, same price for William Hunter, same price for Tabaris Libra, and it's 9-1 bar those.
You go first, James. Who's going to win this?
Well, I'm going to stick with the race favourite, not original, but it was a decent performance when running on the flats, winning that maiden at Kempton. Megan Nichols is riding quite well, was nicely backed despite being beaten behind Gibbs Hill at Kempton when last seen, and is right down the bottom of the, towards the bottom of the handicap here. I think it's the Nichols all the way in this one.
Brendan, anything float your boat here?
Yes, I would agree with James. I don't think there's any horse in here of the calibre of Gibbs Hill. He's a right horse now. I know he beat Zubair out the gate, but I also think that this race sets up a little bit better for Zubair. There looks to be a bit of pace in it. I think the mark of 83, he can definitely be competitive off that.
Lee?
I like Zubair, but I like Dancing a little bit more. Goes on the ground, is in form, and has got the excellent Rachel Richardson on board.
OK, yeah. Well, someone wrote a blog this week saying that Rachel Richardson is hard done by not being in the Shergar Cup. But hopefully she'll get some consolation by winning the 155. 2:30, it's the Betfred Rose of Lancaster Stakes. And it's an open renewal, as James is about to tell us.
Yeah, that's spot on, Bruce. I thought this was one of the most conundrum of a races all weekend. It's a real competitive race, and at the top of the betting market, Sheikh Hamdan's unbeaten horse, this Laraib, is 7-2, Sparplug 5-1, Autocratic is 13-2, Francis Assisi back after a break is 9s, Gabriel 9-1, Francus is 9-1, and 12's bar in this one.
OK, Brendan, just quick. We are going to come to this subject in greater depth later, but I can't wait. How's the love life in 3 words?
Could be better.
OK, great. We'll come back to that. Who's going to win the Rose of Lancaster Stakes?
Well, my eyes are usually drawn to the 3-year-olds in these kind of heats, Bruce. Now, the market certainly hasn't missed Laraid because he has to step up. But I think this is a horse going places. I mean, the Haydock form when he beat Addy Pearce, that's serious handicap form. He was impressive in beating Banditry latest. That Banditry is a very solid horse. The pedigree as well, it's a very interesting pedigree. He's by Pivotal out of an Umfawain mare. So the Pivotal will hopefully mean that the cut in the ground won't be an issue. And the Umfawain mare, this is the whole height of fashion, busted line. All these horses do is improve as they get older. More so, all horses improve as they get older, but particularly from this line, they just improve and improve and improve. I still think he's a bet even at 7-2.
Do you know what? One thing I've learnt doing the Postcast down the year is that when Brendan likes some at the head of the market, he's got a very good record there. So he's gone for both the Fabs at Haydock. Right. Who are you going to go for, Lee?
Yeah, I'd be tempted to go with the Fab as well. I think Laraib was at Ascot when he won last time. He was impressive there. And it's not a great Group 3, this. I mean, it could almost be a listed race. Francis of Assisi is interesting. Had a really great spring in Melbourne last year and looks like being Godolphin's leading British contender for the Melbourne Cup, about 20-1 for the race. At this stage, interesting how he goes there. But no, I'd say Laraib in a race that has had better years. I remember going to this in 1996 on a Saturday back home, just a few weeks before I joined the Racing Post.
Oh wow!
I know, it's nice to
You've done 21 years, have you, Lee?
In September.
Incredible, blimey, O'Reilly. That's great service. What a star you've been for us, James. Who do you like in the Rose of Lancaster?
I'm going to go for one at a big price, and maybe perhaps in the betting without market tomorrow. Artemis of James Fanshaw's in this race was down the field behind Ulysses. I think James might have thought a little bit about this horse because he was behind Ulysses in the Gordon Stakes earlier in the season. He was last in the Hardwick behind Idaho. Came back into a little bit of form the last day behind Eves. What about Carlo at Newbury? Hopefully at a big price. Might run well in an open race.
Okay, let's switch our attention to Newmarket, and there's a Group 3 there. It's the Sweet Solera. Sponsored by GermanThoroughbred.com. So if you want a German thoroughbred, get onto that website. Dance Diva, who got trounced, well, not trounced, but well put in her place by this real hot horse in Nialetti last time, heads the market to frank that form. How do Paddy Power bet, James?
She has drifted a little bit in her anti-post book. She's 11-4, 4-1 at Messiah. It's Poetic Charm for the Godolphin team. We have a good record in this race at 4s. And then we have Caplet Temptress for Marco Body at 7s. Tijanis at 7s and 8-1 bar those.
What do you like, Lee?
It's not a bad Sweet Solera. I think it's between the top two in the market, Dan Stever and Poetic Charm. Back Dan Stever last time. She did meet a good in Nialetti. I don't think Poetic Charm is Nialetti class, so I'd say Dan Stever to get back to winning ways.
Okie doke, who do you like? Brennan Duke?
It's an interesting race, this, because as you say, Dan Stever was very well put in her place, and normally in this race you would expect Poetic Charm to be favoured, wouldn't you? With Godolphin's record in the race, she's a savage pedigree. The maiden she won worked out really well. The Sizzling got beaten Galway, but generally the maiden in Newmarket, normally these horses are overbet. I actually think I think she's too big a price there. I think she'll go off favourite in the end, Poetic Charm, and 4-1. I mean, she boy Dubois, so the cut in the ground shouldn't be an issue. I think she'll go off 5. I think she's probably a better 4-1.
Do you fancy anything here, James?
I'll just go back to Lee's point. I did back Dan Stever the last day too. I thought Hanneken knew when he was beaten, he went a little bit easy on her, so I don't think she had too much of a hard race on that occasion. But Marco Body's price, our horse of the price here, this Caplet Temptress, she's 2 from 2. She liked the ground. She won here the last day, and I think she's got a nice each way chance of the prices improving.
OK, we'll do the naps in a moment, but before we do that, any horses that you want to put up? Let's see where we're racing on Saturday. We've done Ascot, we've got Ayr, we've got Haydock, we've got Kilbeggan, Lingfield, Newmarket and Redcar. Lee, anything we need to know that isn't your nap?
Not my nap, okay, too. Mittens in the listed fillies race at Haydock, which I think is at 3:35, wasn't seen to best advantage at Ascot in a similar race last time. I think she can get back on track under Pat Smullen. She looked really good before that in a handicap at Ascot. And the other one I would mention is in the first of the Grade 1s at Arlington tomorrow night, the Secretariat Stakes. Oscar Performance won the juvenile turf at the Breeders' Cup last year. Makes some interesting Europeans in Permian and Taj Mahal, but I think he'll be too good for them.
That's the 9:50 at Arlington Park tomorrow night. Is that on telly?
Yep.
ATR?
And Racing UK.
And Racing UK,
yeah.
Brilliant, good. Brendan, anything from you that isn't your nap, but you're burning to get off your chest?
No, nothing. I think Lee's covered it. That fillies listed race in Haydock is an interesting heat with Group 1 form of Sea of Grace against the potential of Mittens. So I'll watch that with interest. But
nothing catching your eye over the sticks at Kilbeggan, no?
No, I didn't look at Kilbeggan.
Not your sort of meeting. Let's get the naps.
This will not be beaten.
James, let's see if you can top what has been a spectacularly proficient and excellent Postcast debut with a winning nap. Take it away.
Why, cheers, Bruce. Well, I'm going to stick to America, and I'm going to go to Saratoga. I'm going to go for the ex-Roger Charlton trained time test. It's with Chad Brown now. Now, Chad Brown has had a wonderful few weeks. He is winning everything left, right and centre at Saratoga over the past wee while. It's the big Grade 1 4-star Dave handicap. It's at 11:28 over at Saratoga. This race is named after a horse who won this race twice, and he won at Saratoga for 7 straight years between 1987 and 1994. Fabulous horse, but time test has had 2 starts for Chad Brown in the States for the Judmont team, second on both starts. I was second in the Manhattan Stakes the last day, and I think we'll get off the mark and win for Chad Brown tomorrow.
So that's 11:28 tomorrow night. So if you've done your brains during the afternoon, there's your get out. Lee Mottershead, what's your nap?
I'm going to go even later, 12:19 on Sunday morning, but I'm still going to call it a Saturday race. The Arlington Million. I think Deauville has got a huge chance. I don't see why he's such a big price. You can get 9-4 at the moment. He's miles clear on Racing Post ratings. He was third in the Queen Anne 2 starts ago. The Americans he's up against just don't look anywhere near his calibre. His main rival Scottish has come out. Ryan Moore's got a decent draw from stall 5. He's spoken positively about the horse this morning. I think at 2-1, 9-4, Deauville is way overpriced.
This is all getting very hipstery. This is like the football postcast where I asked Mark Langdon for his nap and he gives you something in the Chinese second division. They do win, though, so hopefully your ones in Saratoga and Arlington will do the business. Is your nap closer to home, Brendan?
It is. Well, I mean, I respect the lads going left of field or left of Atlantic, whatever it is, but I will be keeping my powder dry until I read the words of international grandmaster Ron Wood on the American action. But certainly if he's the rowing with the boys, I back that. I will nap in the 105 in Ascot
Mirza in the 105 Ascot. Thank you very much. Let's look at Sunday next.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in 2 races today and every day this month. Max £25 per race. T&Cs apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. It's Bruce Millington, Lee Mottershead, Brendan Duke and Paddy Powers, James Short. We're looking ahead to Sunday's card, and the big ticket item there, without a doubt, is the 335 at the Curragh. It's the Keeneland Phoenix Stakes. Really, really important. Group 1 over 6 furlongs for the 2-year-olds. And, James, how do Paddy Power bet on this, please?
Yeah, I've always loved this race. Beckford's top of the betting for Gordon Elliott's 11-8. So Nation is 4-1. Actress 11-2. US Navy Flag also for O'Brien is 13-2. Frozen Angel, the UK Raiders 8-1, and also 8-1. Then we have Romanized 14 bar.
Let's stick with you, James, for the first of the selections.
Well, Aidan O'Brien has got a tremendous record in this race, as everybody knows. He's won this race 15 times. He first won the race back in 1998. And to discount Aidan O'Brien's horses in this race, I think you've got to... well, you just can't discount him. Beckford, top of the betting market. There's been 3 trainers who've won this race, bar Aidan O'Brien, back since 1998. I'll ask you if you can name those 3.
Yeah, OK, let's have a guess. Well, I'll go Weld.
Roger Charlton.
No.
Prendergast.
Yes.
Oh, shout.
JSB.
He's won it once.
Yeah. Come on, lads, you're the experts.
David Watchman.
David Watchman. I feel good about
David
that.
Watchman won it twice, and then Bolger won it once. Kevin Prendergast won it in 2011 with La Colina. But Beckford, as we know, is the topped Irish 2-year-old juvenile at this moment on 113. Railway Stakes winner. Lovely, nice piece of work at the Old Vic Gallop, according to Declan McDonough last week. 11-8 at the top of the betting market. But So Nation of 4s. We'll find out which one Ryan Moore rides.
OK, I was very impressed with Beckford when it beat the old Verbal Dexterity, who I have very high hopes of. So he's obviously a bit of a tool. Brendan, the 11-8 falls into your too short to back category. So are you going to savour the race and not bet on it, or are you going to oppose him?
No, I'm going to oppose him. I'm probably going to oppose him at my cost. He's not a particularly impressive looking horse. He's small. He just wouldn't do anything for you in the parade ring. So I'll have to look at him in the parade ring and say, if he's 11-8, I'm taking him on. I think horses will improve past him as the season goes on. I'm going to take a chance on this Declaration of Peace. I know Ryan probably won't ride him, but it's probably about 5-2 the field. Stick the O'Brien winner of the race. Never mind the rest of it. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to jockey bookings. I mean, this Declaration of Peace, they backed him like the feet was out of the question at Ascot. That can't have been his run, and he must have been showing them plenty on the gallops. I'll give him another chance at a fair price.
14-1. Brendan goes for Declaration of Peace. What about you, Lee?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty weak Phoenix Stakes.
It was looking like it was going to be stronger. Who's defected? Didn't we have a couple of...
I don't know. You'd need a high-profile Aidan O'Brien. Normally, Aidan runs his Dewhurst type horses, his Guineas type horses, but with the best one in the world, none of these are going to be winning Guineas from Ballydole, and yet I think at the prices I'd still go with Sioux Nation. According to racingpost.com, Ryan rides Sioux Nation, Donica's on US Navy Flag, Shamey's on Actress, and Wayne Lorden on Declaration of Peace. I'd go with Sioux Nation. I'll tell you what, Ryan's going to have I hope he sleeps on planes, because he's in the 12:19 at Arlington, and this is at 3:35 on Sunday. It doesn't give him long, does it, to get from A to B? He'll have to move quite quick.
I bet he's a good sleeper, though, Ryan. He looks like a sort of carefree kind of guy who just put his head down. He can sleep in a washing machine, as someone once said. By the way, Brendan, I want to get your view on... I'm quite excited, because this time last week, I was telling the lads who were on the postcast that Amadeo Modigliani was going to be the Derby winner. He then bolted up at Galway. Didn't beat much, but what did you make of him? Do you like him, Brendan?
I'm not gone on horses with proud head carriages, Bruce. Now, of course, this would have put me off George Washington throughout his whole career. So I just, it's not a look I like. I kind of prefer my horses to look like they're looking to find money on the ground, and it just slightly puts me off his high head carriage. But he's done absolutely nothing wrong so far. The one I'm really interested in is that the Pentagon. Again, as we discussed earlier, he's out of an unfor-Wayne mare as well. So wait till he gets time and distance. He's going to be a serious tool. The fact that he can do what he can do over 7 furlongs as a 2-year-old is very impressive.
Tremendous stuff. OK, let's look at the rest of the Curragh card. And James, anything you like on there?
Not really, to be honest. I'm going to just stick with the Phoenix, and I'm going to stick with SO Nation, as Lee said. Ryan Moore on the saddle. The form of that victory the last day in the Norfolk has worked out pretty okay with Card Sharp going on to win at Newmarket. So I'm going to stick with SO Nation as the best bet for me on Sunday.
Brendan, will you be donning your hard hat and Vizzy vest and getting down to the Curragh?
I will, yes. I'm going to the Curragh on Sunday, so looking forward to that. The weather's set fair for the weekend, I believe.
Who will you be backing?
I thought it was a really, really tricky card. I was trying to find something. Maybe Kimbrella in the sprint, but I mean that's a really, really deep race. Well, not a deep race, but a really competitive race. You could throw a blanket over them. So I might chance Kimbrella in that race.
OK, and over in Deauville, we've got the Jacques Le Marois, haven't we? Lee, what's your view on that? First of all, I don't like to keep saying it's not a very good-looking race, is it? But it's not a very good-looking race, is it?
Very often, the Jacques Le Marois is as good a mile race as you get in Europe all year, but that's not the case this season. Aidan's taken out Roly Poly, so it's a purely French affair, plus Thunder Snow from Sabin Saror's yard. The most interesting horse, the most talented horse in the field, in my opinion, would be Al Wacker. Ran a great race in the 2000 Guineas when he didn't look suited by the track. Didn't look suited by the ride he was given in his prep race last time. Was given quite a bit to do. Looked like he was being ridden with a view to Jacques Le Marois Day, and I take him to bounce back for Andre Fabre.
Who do you like in this one, Brendan?
I take Lee's point about Al Wacker. I think he's the most talented horse in the race, but he's missing the break, and he's a bit of a character, Lee, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of just put me off now. I mean, again, as Lee said, not the strongest Group 1 race. I mean, what an achievement it is that this Roly Poly is a dual Group 1 winner. If she goes in tomorrow, she'll be a multiple Group 1 winner, and I'm not even sure she's that good. But with Aidan, when he gets these fillies on a roll...
Oh, she's out now,
I think he's taken her out, Brendan.
She's a defector.
According to France-gallo.com this morning, there are only 6 runners in the race, and she wasn't one of them.
Well, I think we're down to 5 now, because I can't see a price by Trey Fleur either. So,
Trey bad.
Well, that's very disappointing. So I'll have to pass on this race.
Okay, are you going to pass, James, or have you got? You can at least give us a show of betting, can't you, man?
Yeah, we have Al Wacker 6-4, 5-2 Tarif. These two meet again after Maison Lafitte. Thunder Snow is 5-1. I think Thunder Snow's the value here. We've only got these 6 runners. Tars Flores is 11-2, and bigger prices the last 2. So Thunder Snow dominated from the front, got back to a bit of form the last day under Sumion when winning the Prix John Pratt. You might recall at Shanty. That was a good few weeks ago. It's had a break since then, and has the good form with Churchill and Barney Roy. So 5-1, I think, is too big for Thunder Snow.
Anyone got anything else? We've got Leicester, we've got Windsor, we've got Downpatrick. Lee?
No, I'd be lying if I said I had apologies.
OK, that's fine. Brendan?
No, nothing from me.
OK, right. Weekend plans. James, what are you going to be doing? Are those dulcet tones going to be infiltrating every Paddy Power betting shop tomorrow?
That's it. I'm here in the Power Tower all weekend, Bruce.
Oh, lovely. Excellent. Will you allow you... What's the break between shifts? When do you knock off on Saturday and when do you start again Sunday?
2 till 10 Saturday and 7:30 Sunday morning.
Oh, blimey. So there's not much kit there, is there? So you won't be going out and having a few tinctures on Saturday night, I shouldn't think, no? When do you next get to let your hair down then?
That's going to be next Tuesday. Heading out to watch Liverpool in a bit of Champions League playoff action. So looking forward to that next Tuesday.
Oh, against Hoffenheim. You're off to Germany, are you?
No, I'm just going locally. We'll watch it in the pub.
You're watching it in the pub. Sorry, I thought you wanted
That's right.
madman who goes right across Europe watching people. Lee, will you be on Shergar Cup duty tomorrow?
I'm not. I'm on World Athletics Championships duty.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, going to morning and evening sessions at the stadium tomorrow night. Went on Tuesday. It was very good crack. Great. It's a great stadium. Great place to watch sport. And we'll be seeing Usain Bolt's final race in the stadium tomorrow.
Is he in the relay?
He's in the relay. So, God willing, Jamaica get through the rounds during the morning. He'll be in the final against the American team in the evening. Mo Farah's out from the track. Well, actually not from the track. He's going to go for one more Grand Prix. But Mo Farah runs in the 5K as well.
Wow.
So it's a good card.
Yeah, it is. That sounds really good. And Brendan, what about you? Well, let's have a little catch up with you. What's been happening, my friend? Are you still a professional punter?
Yes. I was actually a professional job seeker before I headed to Galway, and then I had the best week of the year. Completely, I was in wretched form, completely out of nowhere. I just had a huge week in Galway. So now I'm not looking for work as earnestly as I was before Galway. So
excellent. And looking for love, or is there anything bubbling?
Oh, always looking. I haven't got a whole lot to report. I had a brief encounter moment in Galway.
Well, I'm told Galway is what we say in cricket terms is very much a result wicket, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a bit of a story there. It's a bit long to go into, but I was getting the bus home because I couldn't find to get my taxi, so I was getting the bus home after the Galway hurdle, and the bus was full. And this girl sat down beside me, Dr. Katie from Dalkey, absolute goddess. So I got to talk to her for about 40 minutes while the bus meandered its way into Eyre Square, and then she jumped off the bus, and that was the end of that. But I've never had a brief encounter moment before. So
did you bottle it? Were you not tempted to go for the old, can I have your mobile?
Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked now, playing the percentages. I'd be pretty shocked if this girl is available. But you're right, faint heart ne'er once there, maiden, Bruce. I should have gone for it.
It was a free shot. Well, it's lovely to catch up. Hopefully you'll be back on the podcast soon. James, thank you very much indeed. That was great. You can certainly come again if we haven't put you off. And Lee, we'll let you get back to news editing. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the podcast, do please go on, review, rate and follow us on iTunes. And Maddie will be back on Monday, looking back at the weekend and looking ahead to all the goodies. Obviously, York is counting down, so do join her and the gang on Monday.
Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.